Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board number 16. I am First Vice Chair Le Aloha Tumbaga. Chair May Mizuno is unable to join us this evening, but today is Wednesday, November 8, 2023. It is now 7:03 p.m. So rules of speaking, anyone wishing to speak is asked to click the raise hand icon, and when recognized by the vice chair, to address comments to the chair, acting vice chair, I should say, apologies. But speakers are encouraged to keep their comments under 2 minutes, and those giving reports are encouraged to keep their reports under 3 minutes. Please ensure your microphone is muted unless you are speaking. Please state your first and last name for the record before moving into your comments, questions, etc. Written testimony may also be submitted via email using the contact information listed on the Neighborhood Commission Office website. Please silence all electronic devices. Notes: the board may take action on any agenda item as required by the State Sunshine Law, Hawaii Revised Statutes, Chapter 92. Specific issues not listed on this agenda cannot be voted on unless properly added to the agenda. And I do want to make a comment noting a mistake in our agenda for November 8. Our next meeting is actually on Wednesday, January 10, 2024, since we will be recessing for the month of December. And then we will be doing a roll call. I guess I could do the roll call. I'll start off alphabetically by last name. Is Ethan Dayton here, online or in person? Yes, I see him. Okay, I guess I'll put a little check mark. Is Randolph Franklin here this evening? Yes, I see his name online. Ikaika El Hasi. Is Ikaika? Oh, there we go. I see his face. Hello. Chester Koga. Where is he? Oh, wait. Is he? You're
He's
Chester.
online, I
Yes,
believe.
yes. Got it. Alan Kumalai. You're here. Simeon Rojas. Here. Hernando Tan. Is he on? Yeah, Hernando Tan, I see online. Lealoha Tumbaga, where is she? Oh, she's right here. And May Mizuno, I guess, yeah, is the only one that's not here. That's okay. She's enjoying her vacation. Let's see. So now we'll move on to city monthly reports. First up is Honolulu Fire Department.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dominic Marquez. I'm with the Honolulu Fire Department here at Kalihi Station. Here you have this evening the statistics for October 2023. We had two brush fires, 3 nuisance fires, which will include rubbish fires outside a structure or a vehicle. Along with the fires, we had 52 medical emergencies. Our safety tip for the month, or for the holidays: holiday cooking safety. Keep everyone safe this holiday season. Thanksgiving is a peak day for home cooking fires, with more than 3 times the daily average for such incidents. Christmas Day and Christmas Eve rank second and third, both having nearly twice the daily average. Unattended cooking is by far the leading contributing factor in cooking fires and fire deaths. So that being said, stay in the kitchen and focus on the food when you're cooking. Stay in the home when you're cooking your turkey and check on it frequently. If you want a fried turkey, please purchase it from grocery store. Restaurant, buy a fryer that does not use oil. Turkey fryers that use cooking oil are not safe. These fryers use large amounts of oil at high temperatures, which can cause devastating burns. Consider purchasing an infrared fryer, air fryer, electric turkey fryer that has been listed or qualified testing laboratory. Do not leave fryers unattended when in use. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dominic Marquez. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But are there any questions from the board, online or in person? Seeing and hearing none at this time. Any questions from the community, online or in person? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Up next, thank you. And now up next is the Honolulu Police Department.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Lieutenant Creighton Hatiku at the Kalihi Police Station. I'm one of the nighttime commanders. Let me give you some statistics first for the month of October. There was only one burglary reported in your area, only one motor vehicle theft reported in the area. There were only 4 reported thefts in the area, which is kind of surprising, down from 10 in September. And there were 3 thefts from vehicles in the area, in the Kalihi Valley area. Total calls for service. This encompasses any kind of call, not just criminal calls. We had 577, down from 625 in September. A tip I have for you folks as we go into the holiday season, you're gonna start to see people shipping cards, gifts, those sort of things, your orders from Amazons and such. I would suggest that if you're ordering from Amazon and other retailers, a lot of times they have option to ship it to a shipping point rather than your address, especially if you have an open porch that's easily seen from the street, where boxes are normally left, because we're running into it's year round for us, but holidays are really porch pirates season. So when you go to the UPS website, it'll show all the different shipping points, and you can find one near you that you can have your packages shipped to. A lot of times it's a UPS store or it's another store that they hold the packages. You go and you show your ID and they give you the packages. It's a lot more secure way to do it. And also, you can register with the US Mail for a daily notification. And what it does is it actually scans the envelopes that were sent to your house, that they received, that were delivered to your house. And that way you can double check if you had mail stolen, be it gift cards or any kind of mail. So I've been registered on that for a long time. So it's very handy because you get an email message and it has the actual photo images of the cards and letters that you have been sent and received during that day. Do I have any questions?
I have a question, Lieutenant.
Hi, sir.
Okay, thanks. My question is, I got a phone call from a community member who wanted, she wanted help on following up on a call that she had made to HPD on Monday. And so her call came to HPD on Monday at 3:16 p.m. And she was at the corner of Hoftailing and Aupuni, right past a small market. She saw a naked girl between the ages of 8 to 10 with no clothes on walking down Hoftailing, and she did call HPD, and she asked me to follow up to see if there's been any if there's any information about what happened with this young girl who was walking down the street. So I was wondering, officer, if you have any information that you can share, or if you could follow up with us after.
Yeah, I'll look it up, Mr. Hussey, and I'll let you guys know what was found out.
Thank you.
No problem, no problem. Mr.
Thank
Franklin,
you.
you have something?
Oh yeah, Mr. Franklin.
LT, I got a question. Do you have any information on the 3 armed robberies that occurred in our area in the last 10 days?
You guys had it in the valley, 3 armed robberies?
Yes. I can give you the incident numbers if you want. And one was on 2300 Kalihi. I'm hoping that's not KC Market again. But we had one on the armed robbery on the 6th, an armed robbery on the 1st, and an armed robbery on the 28th.
28. Unfortunately, Mr. Franklin, I've been off island for the last 3 weeks, but I will definitely look those up. You have any other addresses where they occurred?
I can give you the incident numbers.
That would work. Yeah.
Okay, the first incident number is going to be 231106, which is the date, and the last four is 2037.
20.
The next incident number is 231101, which is November 1st. Incident number 0456. And the last one is 231028, which is October 28, incident number 1246. And all three of these were done with a weapon.
Okay.
Just don't want people to our citizens in our area walking around when there's a armed felon running the streets. I'm trying to get some information on it so we can put that out.
Okay. I'll see what I can find, Mr. Franklin. I'll let you know. Are there any other questions?
Any other questions from the board, online or in person? Seeing none, any questions from the community? Yes. Do you want to come up to and introduce yourself, please?
My name is Ida Isidro, and I have a question for Lieutenant Akika. This concern of mine is a follow-up when I came the other month. For my safety, I don't want to mention about my street address, and I don't want to mention about the license number of this car. This is a no parking issue that has been going on and on and on. This car owner would park at the no parking zone, would park there. This is the same story I brought up the other month, and it's happening again. With the help of Council Member Dos Santos, in the beginning, before the other month, those signs, no parking signs, were vandalized, and the other month it was replaced fast through the help of Council Member Dos Santos. Anyway, this is a no parking, and again, like I said, I don't want to mention the street name. I can mention that after the meeting and the license number. Here's the incident this week. This car comes and go. HPD are being called. They come and ticket. And this whole week on a Monday morning, I called early. HPD came. They gave a ticket. After the ticket, this car owner came that same night again and parked on the no zone. Again, the same location. And then yesterday morning, I called HPD again. And as far as I know, or I could be wrong, I did not see any police that came to tag this car. I could be wrong, maybe because there was no ticket when I passed by. The whole morning, there was no ticket on the car. And I was just wondering, so I called 911 again, non-emergency, and I told them I'd like to remain anonymous. About 1 o'clock yesterday, then HPD came. So they waited next to the car for a long time, this police car. And I don't know if the HPD was waiting for a tow car. Then before I knew it, then the owner from up the mount, then the owner came down of the car, and the owner came to move the car. So did the HPD call the owner to come and move the car? That's my question. Because when I saw the owner came, then he moved the car and the police was gone. So that whole thing issue yesterday was, I believe there was no ticket and it was not towed away. And now to make the matter worse, so the car moved by 1 o'clock. Move, came 5 o'clock again, park at the same, no parking, all night, and still they're up till today. So it move again, then come back. So I'm getting frustrated. Like, I don't want to be like wasting my time and calling 911 because there could be more important things. So I think this should come to an end because he keeps doing it every other day, but I was surprised how come the car was not towed away yesterday. Is that the procedure? They would call the owner and come move your car, although this car had so many tickets and violations and come back every other day?
There's only
Thank you.
certain things that we can toll for, yeah. So I'm not sure of the exact situation, what's going on, because you're not able to provide information. And I understand you're trying to be as anonymous as possible, but if it's an issue that and you're questioning, you can always call to speak to a supervisor and they can explain it to you. It's hard for me
Okay.
to make a call because this is occurring during um, the ones that you're wondering about occur during the day watch hours. So if you see it happening at that time, you can call and a supervisor will call you back and you can get an explanation
Okay.
then.
Okay, Lieutenant Akik, I did talk to Sergeant Van yesterday,
Mhm,
and I relayed the same story.
mhm.
And I said, could you please make sure that you will take care of this? That was before they came back in the afternoon, but nothing happened. And HPD came. How come they did not tow away that car at that moment? If it's coming back and forth, so it's there again tonight. It's gonna be all night. Tomorrow, if I call in the morning, they will give a ticket, move the car, and come back and park again. Isn't that no parking sign?
Yeah, when you
I'm
spoke to
I'm
the sergeant,
scared
you
that
should.
I'm scared that somehow I'll be known to this car owner, so I keep telling HPD, please keep me anonymous. But I don't want to do this anymore. What could be done?
Unfortunately, for that kind of situation, there it may be that the officers are not necessarily looking for parking violations at that time. Um, but we know, you have to live there, so it's something that I would be concerned about as well. So I advise you not to be frustrated, but you need to understand that there's only certain things that we can toll for. So what the thing is, we'll just keep going, we'll keep tagging it, and what happens is at the times when this person has to go and register his vehicle, if there's outstanding tickets and the fines add up, and if it's not paid, he suffers a penalty at that time, yeah. And if it can affect his registration, if he chooses not to register the car, or if he allows the safety check to expire because he cannot register the car, then that creates a situation where we can toll. Other than that,
Okay.
unless it's a marked no toll zone, for the no parking, basically in those kind of situations, we can do at that time unless we
Okay,
have
Lieutenant, if I go
permission.
out now and I call 911 and that car is still there, will they tow it or will they wait and call I think they know the phone, I think they have the number because they call this car owner.
Mhm.
So if I excuse myself 5 minutes and I call, would they tow it or?
If they have grounds to toll, I mean, I don't know what
Isn't
is
that no
the
parking zone for
no
going
parking
back?
zone just means that it'll get tagged unless it's blocking like a driveway or something like that. Sorry, my auto lights are going off. I'm still here. Sorry, just a second, Mrs. Cedros. Sorry, we have automatic lights at the station. Yeah, that's I would suggest that you call and speak to the sergeants when you need an explanation at the time, and then they can tell you exactly.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I voice out and whatever you folks could do, but at this point now, I don't want to call anymore.
Okay, I'm sorry you feel that way, Mr. Cedro, but
It's the reason I said that is I'm afraid for my safety that I'll become obvious that I'll be the one calling. So what's your suggestion, Lieutenant?
well, I hope that you keep calling when you witness it, because half of our what we do is based on citizen report. We can't be everywhere at once, that's why. So that's how it works. Um,
Oh, okay. And then another comment was one time we called HPD
mhm.
911 and we gave the license number and the answer that we got from HPD is they said, oh, the owner of that car is live up there. What, how come that was the answer that we got?
That's a dispatch issue. Yeah, they shouldn't be talking to you like that. I'll assure you, none of my people will talk to you in that fashion. But
Exactly.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Lieutenant.
no problem, ma'am.
Thank you.
I
And
have a question on
I think
that.
we have one more. Mr. Franklin.
LT, in Honolulu, when a car gets so many tickets, isn't that habitual? And how many tickets can a car get? I thought when they get more than 4 tickets, they can be towed. So that's not
No,
uh,
that's not true.
that's not
They can
true in
get any
Honolulu,
number of tickets. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
We're
and the
sorry.
citizen just stated that whoever told her that the person live up there, isn't that misconduct?
I believe she was talking to a dispatcher. So
But
if she
that's
wanted to follow up with communications division, she could.
right, but
Um,
she should make a complaint to dispatch against that person. That should be the advice she's given because that was unprofessional and rude. So it's not just that's not your section, but she should be advised that she should make a complaint to have that dispatcher suspended because
Mr. Franklin, I never said that's not my section. I told her it's an issue with the communications division. So
right, but she should be
she can
given
speak to the
information to
communications
the
division.
communication division so she can make a formal complaint. That's my point. Because basically it's not your section, but we're just,
That's what you're saying, Mr. Franklin.
but she
Does
should.
anyone have any other questions?
Well, I will tell her that she should make a complaint to the communication division so it doesn't happen to her again. I mean, that's the right thing to tell her. So, Miss, please make a complaint to the communication division so nobody will treat you that bad again because it's unprofessional for that person to tell you that. Not just go home and cry about it. I will research the tickets for her too, but thank you too, LT. You have a nice day.
You too, Mr. Franklin.
Are there any other questions from the community? Seeing none. Oh, sorry. You want to get up to the mic and introduce yourself? Thank you.
Hello, Commander. Thank you for seeing me. Members of the board. My name is Chinen. Last name, first name, Michael. I'm a resident that lives off of Camp Fort Road. I
Hey, Mr.
recently
Chinen.
retired. I'm sorry?
Hey,
I
Mr.
re-
Chinen.
Yeah, I recently retired back in April. So I started doing my exercise walks in the evening. And so I end up going down Kalihi, come across, and then get back on Camp Fort Road. But what I notice is I understand there's a law that requires cars to stop when people are stepped off the curb onto the crosswalk. Is that still a law that
Yes,
requires?
that is correct. That is correct.
All right. I'd like to address the issue then that it's not
Mhm.
it's not happening. There's a lot of cars that once I step into the road, but not in the middle, I step off the crosswalk and I wait and the cars just keep on passing without stopping, knowing that I'm in the crosswalk, stepped off the curb, ready to cross, and they're continually just they're just passing by until I actually get towards the edge of the road. My concern is that it was one of your patrol cars as well that they stopped, allowed me to walk. And when I got to the halfway point, they didn't wait till I got to the end. They just took off. And as I understand it, that's illegal.
It was it is on Camp Fordo. You were on the two-way.
It was right on Camp Fort, the first crosswalk after you come past 7-Eleven. It was a patrol car. I stepped into the crosswalk. He stopped. I started walking, got to the halfway point, and he just took off.
Okay, he might be confused about the law. Then I'll speak to my
I'm
officers about
quite
that.
sure he was confused about the law.
What
So,
time of day was that, Mr. Chinen?
okay, yeah.
What
But
time of day was that, Mr. Chinen?
That was like about 6 o'clock, 6:30 in that area. That's about when I do my walk.
In the morning or in the evening?
In the evening, sorry.
No problem.
Okay.
I'll address it with my guys, Mr. Chinen.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you. It looks like we have a question from Mr. Rojas. Yeah.
Lieutenant, I have a question here.
Hi, sir.
What is the consequences for or the penalty for if you were to get caught or you were to get turned in? If there was a a walker on the crosswalk before they can pass the whole crosswalk. If someone were to turn them in, or if, for instance, like what had happened, what's the consequences for that, or
You mean
penalty?
consequences for an officer?
No, no, not for anybody. It's for any
For
citizen.
anybody? It's a violation, sir. So it would be, they're subject to getting ticketed. It's a fine.
Ticket fine.
Yeah, they get fined.
Okay.
You know, they're issued a ticket and they're fined.
Okay, so what happened if you witness something and then you kind of follow the person and then
You could potentially talk to an officer, but it would require a person who, officers for violations, they have to witness it. So
pertaining to, let's say for example, for the
Mhm.
general,
for the
for
what?
general, for general, meaning like
Mhm.
for everyone, someone who get caught, we report them in, and we still need to make a report through the police for
Well,
them to get
unfortunately,
ticketed.
for things like that, anything we issue tickets for, we have to personally witness it ourselves.
Only yourself.
Yeah, we have to. The officer
Only
has
for
to
the
witness it.
officer.
Yeah, the
But if
officers
not,
have to witness it.
if there's another citizen witness, that means it has to be only for an officer to witness the situation.
Yeah, unfortunately, the officer, we would be able to counsel if you wanted us to do that. We do that often, but for
Okay.
us to actually issue a ticket, the officer has to personally witness it.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
Thank you. Oh, looks like Mr. Alan Kumlai has a question as well.
Hey, Lieutenant, I just got a quick question. Real simple.
sir.
What's the rule in drivers yielding the right of way to pedestrians crossing the street?
In Hawaii,
just a
the
simple
rule
rule.
is they're
Yeah.
supposed to let them go. You're supposed to come to a complete stop and let pedestrians clear the entire roadway before you proceed. That's as simple. The simplest way to put it.
Thank you. Any more questions from the community? Online, seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Creighton Hatiko.
Okay, you guys have a great evening.
Have a good evening. Up next on the agenda is Board of Water Supply, Iris Oda. Oh, hello. Nice to see you.
Hi. So I lift this up. Oh. There we go. So hi, I'm Iris Oda from the Board of Water Supply. I wanted to come in person to introduce myself since I'm new to the board since Warren had left. But hi everyone. So I just have one general water announcement. We're starting early, the 2024 poster and poetry contests. So we're launching the contest. The poster contest is open from grades K through 6. The poetry contest is open to grades 7 through 12. So this year's theme, Our Water, Our Home, and the deadline to enter is February 28th, 2024. So we're coming out early in case there's a lot of recesses in December. So we wanted to let you guys know. So if you want more information, go to boardofwatersupply.com/WCW contest. So that was my one announcement. If there's any questions that I could maybe take or follow up on later.
Yeah, any questions from the board, online or in person? I just have a little question. Could you repeat the date, February 28 or 20?
February 28th,
28. Okay.
2024.
Got it. I
Yeah.
couldn't read my handwriting. Thank you. Any questions from the community, online or in person? Seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much, Iris Oda. Thank you for coming in
Thanks.
person. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Up next, we have residents and community concerns. Meeting participants may present their community concerns at this time. Note, due to the state sunshine law, concerns not listed on the agenda may be presented, but no board action can be taken. Items brought up may be placed on a future agenda for discussion/action. Are there any resident and community concerns at this time? Seeing and hearing none. Okay. Next on the agenda is city elected officials. Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Bandmaster Clark Bright, I believe is online. Hello.
Yes, aloha. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, acting chair, board members, and community members. Aloha. First, a quick report about Mayor's newsletter. You can find it on oneoahu.org. I'll put it in the chat. Interesting articles involving affordable housing, the updates. The county mayors also toured Lahaina. There's $1 million grant for art on Oahu. How to weigh in on Oahu's climate strategy, and the new services offered at Kapolei. Also, from the Neighborhood Commission Office, they are hiring a new neighborhood board assistants to engage in public awareness for community support. Neighborhood assistants help coordinate with neighborhood board chairs and produce written reports to members of the public. Please send your resume to nco@honolulu.gov, or you can call the NCO at 808-768-3710. Just a few follow-up issues from the last meeting. The first one involving HFD fire, the hazmat incident. There was the board that requested details on the hazardous material incident that occurred in September. From the Honolulu Fire Department, they were unable to ascertain which hazardous material incident the neighborhood board is referring to, as the request lacked specific details for them, such as when and where the incident occurred. They will conduct another search of their records if further details are provided. The next incident involved HPD, trespassing and vandalism on Kaiwai Elementary School. They were experiencing vandalism, homeless individuals, and trespassing into the school from the stream through District Park. So the police department, from October 23rd to the 26th, Corporal Robert Del Rosario of District 5 conducted checks at the stream located behind Kalihi Valley District Park for any homeless individuals. During the checks, there were no homeless people within the stream or in the area. The rear of Kaiwai Elementary School was also checked for any vandalism to the buildings or property, and none was observed. It is recommended to continue to call 911 immediately to have an officer dispatched to address any suspicious persons or activity that is occurring on the campus. Constituents may also meet with the officer to provide any pertinent information. Moving on, another issue for follow-up is in DTS, a missing parking sign. There used to be a no parking sign during school hours. We believe we were talking about that earlier, sign in front of Kaiwai School. It has been missing for over a year. So DTS will conduct an investigation of the missing no parking during school hours sign and will issue a work order to the Department of Facilities Maintenance to make that change. Thank you again for that request. And the last follow-up issue involves the school speed signs. Resident requested status of the replacement of the school zone speed sign on Kalihi Street. Once again, DTS will look into the status of the replacement school zone speed radar signs and will inform the board of their findings upon completion of their investigation. We thank you for all those concerns, and that's all I have, Acting Chair. If you have any questions or follow-up.
Thank you, Mr. Clark Bright. Any questions from the board, online or in person? Oh, Mr. Franklin online has a question.
Hi, Dennis.
Go,
Right. The first thing I was confused about was the fire department last month told us that they had a hazmat incident, and we asked him where, because they reported they had one. So they're telling us now that we need to give them more information about something they reported to us. I don't understand that.
I don't either. I was just reviewing the report. I'm sorry about that, but we can go back to them and further clarify.
Because they're the one who presented it to the board. They said we had a hazmat incident. We asked them where, and they said they would get back to us. Now they're saying you need to give us more information about the hazmat incident. I just didn't understand that. But I'll move on to my next question. I also asked last month if the mayor office had funded the neighborhood board system, the NCO, and they said that they will get back to me. And I asked that question because I have studied the neighborhood members handbook from 2017 to present. And from what I've got, these boards have been totally defunded. And I'm trying to figure out if the mayor know that he defunded these local boards completely because we used to have a budget. Now we don't have a budget. And then, you know, there are 33 neighborhood boards with 433 volunteers like myself. And I'll, you know, and we're supposed to bring sunlight to the neighborhood boards. But we also we've been gagged and restricted because in the 2017 neighborhood board, you had something called networking. And that networking stated that we are to reach out to communities, talk to members, talk to everyone we can to get an understanding of what they want us to do on the neighborhood board. But now we're being told who we can talk to and what we can say, and that we need to present questions to individuals, and then you relay our questions. So I believe we're being gagged. So I don't understand that concept from the neighborhood board. First we get defunded, and now we're not even encouraged to network, because if you read the neighborhood board handbook from 2017 to now, it has been watered down and gutted to restrict these board members. And then the next thing I was for the budget is why I'm saying that, because the boards had a budget and the budget was using for fundraising. So we can get banners and we can, you know, get flyers and t-shirts, because we were supposed to encourage citizens to participate in awareness of the neighborhood boards. But in my going on 3 years here, every time that we do something to get the citizens' participation, we are severely restricted. So my concept of neighborhood board, we've been defunded, we've been gagged, and any participation in it to encourage other citizens to engage in these neighborhood boards has been, I mean, it has completely been restricted. I mean, I know that they say we can go back to 1972 and mail things, but there is social media, there's a different ways to reach out to that. So I want to ask every elected official, do they know that these boards have been completely defunded? And was it done on purpose? That's my question, sir.
Okay, thank you for that question. I wanted to see if I could get a little bit of knowledge on that from Spencer. Spencer, are you here? Have the boards been completely defunded?
Hello, everybody. No, that's not true. And I think some of the confusion comes from the position on the board, which is the treasurer's position. And confusion with that, the treasurer has never, okay, I'll break it down. Boards, every board has expenses, and these expenses include facility contracts, the Olelo contract, and the mailing and distribution of agendas and minutes. And in the past, the treasurer position reported each month on how much money was spent last month and how much money is remaining for the rest of the term. And basically, the NCO is never gonna, in the past, there have been boards who ran out of funds because they send a lot of agendas and the printing and postage cost takes up all their funds. So then they have to reach out to the NCO and request more money. Basically, the NCO will never not distribute agendas and minutes because it's the law that we have to distribute it. And we also need to provide a public space for these meetings to happen. So and due to like the rules, like we're not allowed to just eliminate the treasurer's position because it's required that we have it. But there just currently isn't a job for you right now, Alan. But yeah, I don't know. As far as banners and t-shirts and stuff like that, things can be done upon request if it's approved by the office. We did just get polo shirts for board members, and first vice chair Tumbaga is sporting one right now. But yeah, we do have a banner. I don't know. I don't know how else to address this issue. Maybe talking to Executive Secretary Lloyd Yonanaka would help.
But he answered my question. They took the money from the board because other boards was irresponsible. So they took the money from the board and they're controlling the money themselves. But if you read the 2017 handbook, the money was handed to the secretary. And yes, we had to pay for facilities and stuff, but the board got to make that decision. Now the NCO is stating that these boards are incompetent to handle money and they took the money away from the board. That's defunding. We shouldn't have to ask the neighborhood assistant if we need t-shirts and banners, because if you read in 2017, the board made those decisions for themselves. So are we like a bunch of children who can't control a budget that they will fund out the money any way they want to us anytime they want to do it? So we shouldn't have to beg for t-shirts and banners. We shouldn't have to beg for a social media platform so we can reach out to other residents to get them there. And that proves my point. They took the money from the board. They got the money for whatever they want to do. These boards have been defunded. That's 100%. And he just said they was defunded. So because other boards are incompetent, you shouldn't punish all 33 boards, 437 people for this. So my question to the mayor is, why has the NCO defunded these boards?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And is there any more questions from the board, online or in person? Seeing and hearing none. Any more?
I have one.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Mr.
According to
Rojas.
funding, for example, we're gonna start our neighborhood security watch, walks and stuff like that. So we're gonna need vests. I personally, I kind of donated 20 vests already, but we're gonna have more in the future. We're gonna need more in the future. So where do I get that funding from? Okay. Okay, I got it. Just
Okay. And any more questions from board members online or in person? Seeing none. Any more questions from the community? Yes. Miss Lynette Kumalai, come to the mic.
Okay, Bandmaster Bright, I just wanted
Aloha.
to thank you.
Good to see
Aloha.
you.
Good to see you too. Remember back in September, we mentioned the problem with lack of parking for the water participants at Kalihi Valley Pool on Tuesdays and Fridays. I don't know what you did, but I want to thank you because we've been having adequate parking ever since we brought it up to you. So thank you very much. The ladies, which includes some 90-year-olds as well, they thank you as well. They don't have to worry about parking across of Camp Fort Road and making across, trying to cross the street. So there's been more than ample parking. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you for that statement. I honestly cannot accept that, but we have a great neighborhood board, commission office, as well as other departments that are stepping up to help you with that. But thank you, Mrs. Kumalai.
Thank you. Any more questions from the community? Yeah. Yep. Come up to the mic and please introduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Norma Daligcon, and I live in Kalihi Valley. And I have a concern regarding the parking sign. Is there any way that it's okay to just put a no parking sign into the wall? I mean, their yard fence, and then every time somebody park in there, picking up the children by the school, the owner or the renter is yelling at those people saying, "Oh, you cannot park there. Can you not see the sign?" So my concern is they were the one who put that no parking sign. The owner put that parking sign, and now, they are making their rules not to let anybody park in that side. So I don't know whom I gonna ask to uh to complain about that no parking sign that they put. I am
Mr.
bothered with these people that saying, "No, you cannot park there. Can you not see the parking sign?" They are saying to people, and I said, it's not from Department of Transportation or something that is really put that no parking sign. They were the one who posted that. So that's my concern, sir. Whom
Thank
I
you.
gonna ask, I mean, whom I gonna complain
Right,
about
thank you so much. So just to clarify, there was a resident and owner that put their own no parking sign there, not the department. And as to my knowledge, I don't think that's allowed. We will, if I can get your information, the address maybe offline of that location, we can go ahead and see if we can at least make a visit and see if that can be rectified. Thank you.
It's okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions from the community? Um, any more questions from the community? Okay. Oh, did you want to go? Or okay, go on. Introduce yourself again, Mr.
Again, Chinen, first name Michael. I just wanted to ask. I'm kind of new. This is only my second meeting I'm attending, and so this question probably came up before, with regard to. And I know I talked to the officer about people not stopping at the crosswalks. But has anybody entertained the idea of asking the city to fund having raised crosswalks or a signal at the crosswalks to warn cars that there is a cross request at that, something like what they got on like King Street, uh, in Kalihi, and also King Street, South King Street. They also have some down in the Mo'ili and the Makali area. So I was wondering if that's a viable thing for Kamehameha the Fourth Road, especially at the crosswalks.
Right, well, we can put in that request, Mr. Chinen. I think what DTS normally does is after the request is in, they'll do an investigation to see if that would be appropriate. But could you give me maybe a little more specific address? And then we can try to put that request in.
Okay, I believe there's a crosswalk just past 7-Eleven as you're coming up. There's another crosswalk at that
I'm sorry,
Board of Water Supply entrance. I think there's only like 3 crosswalks prior to the police department, and then there's another crosswalk at Cam Housing. Is that correct? So I count like about 4 crosswalks.
And so you're asking for raised crosswalks for all those crosswalks?
I believe maybe I am, since it is a residential crosswalk. The housing kids at the near the housing. We also have one I often cross right coming out of Hihio Street, which is directly across the portables for Dole Middle and the fire department. And there's a crosswalk there. There's also another crosswalk a little bit more down. There's two more besides down. So I think there's a total of 3 crosswalks.
Yeah.
from
I
school
think
street.
what, I think what we can do is at least put that in as a request, and then DTS will do an investigation. They may have already done one actually, in the past, so we could get information from that, or we can just put that in again.
Okay. Do you know what the results of that request from
I,
prior was?
uh, because they're not up, I would imagine that it was not agreed to, but I may be wrong. But we can certainly at least put that request in again to see what they think.
Okay. Fair enough. At least before someone gets hurt.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And any more questions from the community? Just to double check. Seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next on the agenda is Councilmember Tyler Dos Santos Tam.
Hi, Vice Chair. This is Lynn from Council Member's office. I understand that Council Member is there in person. So I'm going to give a very brief report, and then I'm sure that everyone would much rather hear from him. I had passed along his November newsletter. I hope you have that. I had also sent over the invitation for the upcoming Game Room Town Hall meeting. So that meeting will be on November 14th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Oahu Country Club. The event will address the much discussed game rooms package co-introduced by Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. And he may have more to say about that. We want to congratulate all the organizers, sponsors, and supporters of the We Are Kalihi walk that happened last month. It was a great success, and I'm sure that the community will look forward to that event continuing. Also, per the newsletter, we're looking for suggestions for dog park locations. So please reach out to our office if you feel that there is a need in your community, and we're gonna take a good look at how we can make more dog friendly parks throughout the district. Lastly, our office is still looking for interns. So if you know anyone that is policy minded and would be interested in joining our robust dynamic team, please have them reach out to me. I will put my contact information into the chat, as well as the link to all of to the site with all of council members' newsletters. With that, I'd be happy to take any questions before I toss it over to council member.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Lynn Robinson. Any questions from the board, online or in person? Looks like Chester has his hand up. Mr. Chester Koga. Mr. Chester Koga, I believe you're still on mute. Are you able to unmute on your end?
Thank you for that. Yeah,
There
I
you go.
was. Lynn, we need another chat with Principal Souza at Kalihi, because it's the whole parking, or I wouldn't say parking, it's a afternoon pickup time at the school. It's definitely is still a continuing problem, and I get people mention that to me all the time, because especially when the cars are backed up onto Kalihi Street, and I've had to experience that a couple of times on Nihi Street. So it's and it's I grant you, it kind of moves quickly, but still, if you're kind of sitting there waiting for something to happen, and that person who I'm sorry, the name escapes me, but the person who was complaining about the no parking, I can see why they're part of the group that's trying to help traffic move along on Nihi Street. So I don't know, maybe time to have another discussion with Principal Souza. Anyway, I just my 2 cents.
Thank you for that, board member Koga. So we did have that discussion, and actually I went out for a site visit on 2 different occasions and looked. It does move kind of quickly. The real where it really gets complicated is that there's limited parking on the campus as a whole. So there are educators, there's staff members that are utilizing that parking on the side there, that it wouldn't be conducive for them to be able to go out and move their cars. So, you know, I understand that it's an inconvenience for the community, but it's not just residents that live in the area that maybe could find other parking. Those are actual likely staff members at the school that have to utilize that parking and other parking close to the school. That said, you know, I can reach out to Principal Santos again and you know, just kind of see if there's anything else that we might be able to do to alleviate the issue. If not, we might just have to ask the community members just to be super patient, just for those, you know, especially that pickup time. But I'll circle back with you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Because while I was sitting waiting for the cars to move, I counted only 5 cars that were parked from Nobrega to you know, the school on Neely Street. So I don't know if we're going to inconvenience 5 teachers or educators. You know, there was still room in the parking lot. Now they expanded it.
Okay, well, I'll circle back with them.
Thank you. Is there any more questions from the board? I do see Mr. Franklin's hand up. Do you wanna, Mr. Franklin, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Lynn. Chester did this. I've been tracking this for 3 months. I wasn't going to bring it up till January, but 3 of those cars have been parked there. They don't ever move. So that's 3 cars. It's not the teachers. But I've been looking at the same situation. I try not to bring a problem without solution. If you look at the parking in front of Kalihi Park on Kalihi all the way up to where the park is, that park is always vacant. So if they want to solve this problem where everybody is happy, they can make the front of Kalihi from Nobrega to the school, they can make that a RPZ zone since everyone had one just for the teachers, which means it clears the parking for the residents after 5 o'clock, and it clears it for weekend and holidays. So they can take that whole situation and, like we talked before, move the bus bench back to the corner near the fire hydrant. They can park almost 10 cars there, and they can clear up the parking for the teachers on the side. So you can give the teachers 10 plus parking spots on Kalihi Boulevard by making it RPZ zone. So only the teachers can park there between 6 and 5 or 6 and 4. And then the residents can have it after that. And that'll clear up Nobrega completely and everybody be happy. We're happy, the teachers happy, the school's happy by simply just doing that, because that parking is empty majority of the day. If you go there, you'll see there's always 5 to 6, 7 spots. And then it's not far for the teachers to walk, because they can go through where we saw the big tree at and enter into the school. So they don't have to walk all the way around. It's an easy access for the teachers, and it solves all the problems. But I have been monitoring this for 2 months, and Mr. Chester just brought it up. But that is a win-win for everyone.
Thanks for the feedback. Firstly, it would be hugely helpful if you could get a photo of those cars that aren't moving, and then I can engage our community policing, get HPD involved, just so that we don't have cars just sitting, not moving, and they may, you know, need to be cited.
No, I use the 311 app, and I just already reported them.
Okay. Well, let me know if it works and if we can support with that. Secondly, now we all know that the pilot portion, you know, that pilot project for the RPZ is done now, and there's cost involved in the program and getting that permitting. So it would be a little bit complicated, but I'm sure, you know, I think that you bring up some there's some validity to there being other parking spots. And that's another conversation that I can have maybe with the principal to encourage, if there are teachers that would be parking in the congested area in Abrega, to then park on Kalihi Street.
All right.
Thank you. Any more questions from any of the board members online or in person? Seeing and hearing none, any questions from the community? Seeing and hearing none, I guess we'll hear from Tyler Dos Santos himself.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. And thank you, Lynn, for always presenting here at the board. We have 7 neighborhood boards in our district, and so I depend on my staff to come and take the feedback back to my office. And we have a Slack channel on all of our computers where we bring up these concerns. So please, please continue to send in your concerns to Lynn here. I do want to mention she did a really good job covering some of the upcoming events, including this town hall on the game rooms package. This is something that I'm going to be pushing on and taking very seriously because it's a huge issue here in Kalihi, not just across Kalihi Uka, but on Gulick, on School Street, down in Palama, lots of other areas. I'll be on Hawaii News Now tomorrow morning, starting at 5 a.m. talking about it. This is a huge, huge issue in the community. I also want to mention on Sunday, the 12th at 9 a.m., we are doing a park cleanup at Peter Buck Park. That's the one over by Bishop Museum along Hoftailing across from the Carpenters Union, across from Damien. And so we'll be doing a cleanup there. We're going to be rotating around the parks as well, but that's the next one that's up. And anyway, happy to take other questions or concerns that may come up. And if not, I'll be around for another, I guess, good part of the meeting. So,
thank you so much, Mr. Tyler Dos Santos. Tam, any questions from the board? Oh, actually, I do see Mr. Randy Franklin has his hand up.
Good afternoon, sir. I just want to ask you, did you know that these neighborhood boards have been defunded?
I was the chair of the neighborhood commission actually during this time. I was the chair of the commission from 2015 to 2018 or something like that. Anyway, what Spencer mentioned, the process behind the budgeting is correct in that the neighborhood boards still have their funding, but the process by which the payments go out is centralized now. And that's because with 33 neighborhood boards, that's more departments than the city has. That's more payments and things to be kept track of. And we can't, to be honest, the city has to be very careful with its taxpayer money. So it's much easier if it's all centralized in one place. So, I understand that the boards want to have some autonomy in deciding, what to pay for, but the boards have to pay for their location if the location charges. We have to pay for things like Olelo, and I think it makes a lot of sense for these to be paid directly by the neighborhood commission office themselves. But to your point, we do have a budgeting process that comes up every year. The neighborhood commission has been fairly reasonable in their budget requests. But if there's a need to add money to the neighborhood board system for specific things, please let us know. That budget process starts on March 1st.
So what I'm getting is the neighborhood boards, we're supposed to be integrated, but we're not trusted to handle like the minuscule money that they give us.
Yeah.
I know we have to, like every other household, a board has to budget like a household. So they did take the budgets away because basically we're not capable of handling our own budgets or buying our publicity, because you took out publicity. They took out the publicity costs and they took out networking. So we have no publicity. We have no social media. We have to beg for T-shirts or anything we want. Yet we're supposed to be an intricate part of the neighborhood board. I don't understand that concept.
I appreciate where you're coming from on that.
But that's true. We have been defunded. They took the money for themselves. And now they control all of the money and they will dish it out as they see fit. And they took it out. It was in the 2017 neighborhood board that we had a communication officer. We had a publicity fund. We had social media. We had networking. And if you read the new neighborhood board pamphlet, none of that's in there.
So maybe I'd suggest, and Spencer can correct me if I'm wrong, But maybe if the board feels very strongly about this, the board can maybe pass a resolution requesting this sort of consideration from the commission office. And through the commission office's budget process, they can do that. But I don't think we're going to solve the immediate issue of this at this very minute.
No, I just want to know that we
Yeah.
would be funded. That's
No,
all
I
I'm
appreciate
asking.
where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'll write an op-ed about it, but I just want to make sure everybody knew we were defunded. That's all, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Seeing and hearing none. Any more questions from the community? Seeing and hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Tyler Dos Santos. Tam. And the next, okay, now we're on the next agenda for state elected officials. So next is Governor Josh Green's representative, Deputy Director Kristen Sakamoto, and is DOT representative here as well, by any chance? Hello?
Aloha Vice Chair, Kristen Sakamoto here on behalf of the Office of the Governor. So I have one question to follow up from last month. I believe the question was whether there are any laws that prevent corporations from buying housing in bulk in Hawaii. And the answer to that is that there are currently no such laws. Moving on to the governor's newsletter, which I will go ahead and drop in the chat. A couple of things to note. The first is that the Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation is urging residents to participate in the Hawaii Fire Relief Housing Program. This is a program that makes vacant units and rooms available to those whose homes were lost or rendered unlivable because of the fire. So HHFDC is looking for long-term housing of 18 months. There's no limit on how much can be charged, but the governor does ask that owners rent at a reasonable rate. The second thing that I wanted to mention from the newsletter is that we had a successful community gun buyback event. So this was a partnership between the Department of Public Safety, Department of Law Enforcement, Office of the Governor, Attorney General's Office, Department of Health, Department of Transportation, and Honolulu Police Department. So we collected almost 500 firearms and gave out 82 gun locks as a result of this event. So very happy with what happened there. If you have any questions or concerns, I will bring it back to the Office of the Governor for follow-up. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board at this time? Okay, and if not, I have actually a question. I did want to ask if you could have the Department of Education look at the sink in the restroom of Kaiwai Elementary. The handles are turned off, but water is constantly flowing, wasting a lot of water. That could be fixed.
I will reach out to the DOE and let them know. Do you know like which specific bathroom this is for?
Oh, okay.
Any other
Yes,
information?
the kitchen,
Kitchen.
where, yeah, the kitchen bathroom. I think it says it's only for employees, but yeah, it's leaking. I saw it too. That's our bathroom that we would use, but yeah, if that could be given to the Department of Education, please and thank you. And I think, did Ikaika have a hand up or a comment or?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, okay.
I received a note from a resident in Kalihi Valley who said that the sirens that ran on the first of the month near the top of Mahani Loop were not audible. And so this resident was asking if someone from Haima, or I'm not sure if it's Haima or Civil Defense, if they could please check on that siren near the top of Mahani Loop.
Okay, yes, I will reach out to Haima. Could you give me the name of the street again? Mahani Loop?
Mahani is Mahani.
Got it. Thank you very much. I will pass that on.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Is there any more questions from the board, online or in person? Seeing and hearing none. Any more questions from the community? Seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much. Now, next is Senator Donna Mercado Kim.
Good evening, everyone. Committee report was distributed. I'm sorry, are you
Hello.
hearing me?
Okay. We did first hear you, but we heard you introduce yourself, but not the rest. I thought I heard a little bit, but oh, I hear a little bit. Here we go.
I just wanted to say that the Senator's community report was distributed, and community members out there, if you'd like one, please email Senator Kim's office, and we'll be happy to send you one. I'm just going to touch upon the community report, the updates. As we all know, that the Red Hill defueling is taking place, and you can read all about that in her community report. Second special session will be held. The Senate will convene on November 20th and 21st to take up Governor Green's Hawaii State Supreme Court nominees. The appointments are subject to Senate confirmation. And in other news, March is a date for consultation. Last month, Kelly TV attended the meeting. He followed up with Senator Kim's office that a DOT went to assess the situation at the no right turn on red intersection located on School Street and Like Highway. As a follow-up to that, Shelley had asked if a representative from the Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board could join the DOT crew to follow up in a site inspection there. And so I did reach out to Chair Mizuno, and so I believe she's returning November 17th back to Hawaii. So I will follow up again with the DOT, Shelley, to see what can be done to arrange that date and time. Kristen Sakamoto, if you're still there, would you be able to let Shelley know that I've been leaving messages with her to arrange a date and time, since she had been calling? And so I was politely following up with her. She must be busy, but if you do, please let her know that Senator Kim's office is just trying to follow up and arrange a date and time. With regard to Senator Kim's office, she has also reached out to DOT's Lee Nagano, who mentioned to us earlier in the year that the red light camera pilot project was going well. There was a lot of public awareness about this project. So as we are approaching the 1-year mark where it has been set up at Vineyard and Palama Street, as well as Vineyard and Laliha Street intersections, we have asked Lee if she could come back maybe in January or first quarter in 2024 to give us an update on how well it has been received, the success, and so forth. The beautification project is Kalihi Waina Elementary. They need volunteers to paint, and so that is in our community report. Veterans Day is also coming up, and there's a Veterans Day sunset ceremony, and it's open to the public and free of charge. It's going to be held on board the USS Missouri. Any questions that I can take before closing?
Yeah, any questions from the board online or in person? Seeing and hearing none. Any questions from the community? Oh, actually, I see Chester, board member Chester Koga, if you'd like to unmute.
Yeah, I'm Bernie. I left a message in the chat for I guess repair or fixing of a sign that's located at the intersection of Kalihi Street and Makuahini. That's either got hit during an accident or got vandalized. So it's about ready to fall over onto the street.
What does that stop sign? Hello? What does the sign say? If you could give a little bit more details, Chester?
No, it's not a sign with words or anything on it. It's a directional sign because if as you're heading southbound on Kalihi Street, the sign is just a directional arrow.
Okay. Thank you. I'll take that and get an answer for you.
Got it. Thank you. And I see Kristen Sakamoto.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Sorry, Bernie, my audio was having some difficulty hearing you. I heard the last part of your message that you were trying to reach out and schedule a meeting. I didn't catch the first name of the name of the person that your office has been trying to schedule that meeting with.
Shelley Kaneshige from the PAO.
PAO.
Office.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you. Any more questions from the board, online or in person? Seeing none, any questions from the community? Would you like to come up and introduce yourself at the mic, please?
Hi, my name is Shirley Mike Shiro. But my question, well, is about the when if you're in the intersection when it's a no right turn on red, will the photos be taking pictures of whoever is making a right turn on the red light? I mean, I that's what my question is, that because what happened was my brother was waiting in the right lane, and because it's no right turn on red, he just was waiting. But the car behind him went around him and went into the intersection and just turned on the red. So I was just wondering if the cameras would go off and catch that car, license and whatever, going on red, because over there is a all no red, no turn on red light, right? Intersection of Liki and Kalihi, right? Oh, not School Street, I should say, not School Street and Liki. Yeah. So, I'm not sure if that question would pertain to you because of the photos, but I just was curious if cars would, like going in the intersection like that would be caught on the camera also, not just other people just going, like the other times.
From what I understand is that it's different from that of the red light camera pilot project.
Or mic on friend. Okay, sorry, we couldn't hear the first part. We only heard red light camera. If you could repeat your answer again.
Thank you, I will.
Thank you.
From what I understand, this is a no right turn on red intersection as opposed to the red light camera pilot project, which is set up at different intersections on the island. So I believe I'll need to follow up with DOT because camera or photo taking would only be at the red light camera intersection and not on the no right turn on red signage area.
She's nodding yes. Oh, thank you. Yes, she said thank you. And are there any other questions from the community, online or in person? Oh, Ethan Dayton, actually. Go on, Ethan.
Hi. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so that intersection of School Street and Like is both a no turn on red and a red light camera. I believe this question has been asked in a previous meeting, and the answer was that yes, the red light camera would catch people on the right turn. But I know you're going to do your research, but I believe this has already been brought up before.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you, Co-Vice Chair Ethan Dayton. Any other questions from the board and or community online or in person? Seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much. Up next on the agenda is Representative John Mizuno. Would anyone be representing his office today or this evening? Okay, looks like if they're not here, then we can come back. But we can move on to committee reports. Are there any committee reports that any of the chairs would like to give a report? No reports. I don't have the list in front of me, but if there's no report, we can summarize a no report for now.
I could just say that the next meeting of my committee will be prior to our next board meeting. But I guess you said we're recessing in December, right?
Yeah, we're recessing in December and
Okay.
January
Then it will
10th.
be in January.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay, Congressman Case. Hi, did you want to speak? Will you be speaking for us or yeah? You have your hand up.
Oh, sorry. My name is Alan Moneoka. I work for Congressman Case. I was just here to give our reports. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for you folks. So I just wanted to. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to report for the last quarter of the month, for last quarter. So Congressman has focused a lot on the FAA for commercial tour helicopter operations and also just general small aircraft operations around Hawaii. I know it's a big nuisance for a lot of people who are in the community. So he submitted some comments about proposed rules and regulations about trying to limit those kind of flight paths over the islands, over especially residential neighborhoods. And our office is still focused on working on addressing the Maui wildfires. So last month when we passed our a bill to give $16 billion to FEMA to help with their disaster relief recovery fund. So those funds will be going to help out Maui and some other disasters across the U.S. And we've also been working with the SBA to help with some economic injury disaster loans to help people. They can have some working capital to keep them in business during this time while they recover. And then also just in generally highlight a lot with the fire this week, especially on Oahu. We're focused a lot on fire mitigation throughout the state, looking at options at the federal level to work on trying to help mitigate fire risk around the entire state. And then generally for our district office, we're focused a lot on your casework. So if you have any difficulties with federal agencies such as the IRS, the SBA, feel free to contact our Honolulu office. They can help you out with these kinds of issues. You can give us a call at 808-650-6688, and they'll be able to help you out with your problems. And I can take any questions you guys have any.
Got it. Thank you. And is there any questions? Oh, from the board, Mr. Randy Franklin.
How you doing, sir? I got a question regarding the Windfall Act that's in Congress. I'm trying to figure out what the progress of that. Do you know what the progress of that and when would it come up for a vote?
Would this be HR 82? I believe so.
I don't know what it is. I know it's called the Windfall Act, the one that
Yeah,
punished
I think
retirees for working 30 years.
yes, I believe that's HR 82. I know the Congressman Case is support of the act. He's a co-sponsor of it. As of now, I think it might be on the calendar, but that's kind of up to the decision of leadership when they want to bring it up to the floor for a vote. So I know the Congressman is supportive of the act, though.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked that, and we're watching it very closely. The second thing is there's another bill in that's in Congress far as trying to stop all of those companies from owning all these houses because they own 80,000 homes each. I know that bill is supposed to be in Congress to keep them from to keep people from buying homes. They talk about a housing shortage, but those companies, those 9 companies have created a housing shortage in America. I want to know if that bill going to get through.
I'm not exactly sure which bill or not familiar with the bill you're referring to, but I can definitely look into that for you and try to get you an answer on that bill.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Mr. Franklin, do you have another? Okay,
No, that was an accident.
no problem. Thank you. Any more questions from the board? Online or in person? And seeing none. Any questions from the community? Online or in person? Nope. Okay, seeing none. Thank you so much for being here. Didn't expect you on, but we'll probably put the edit in the agenda. But thank you for being here.
Okay, thank you
Nice
so much.
surprise.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. And now we will move on to approval of the regular meeting minutes. Let's see. Let me double check. Can I get a motion for approval? Online or in person?
Move the motion.
Okay, and thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second. Okay. It has been moved. The approval of the regular meeting minutes for Wednesday, October 11, 2023 has been moved and seconded. Any discussions? Oh. Mr. Dana Yap, you have your hand up, Mr. Dana Yap.
I'll wait for after you approve. I just wanted to make an announcement.
Okay, no problem. Any discussion about the October minutes? Seeing none. Okay. Looks like the motion is carried or it's approved. And yeah, thank you everyone for voting. And I guess next is the announcements. Should I make the announcement for the date now or? Yeah. Okay. I'll make my announcement first, Mr. Dina Yap, and then I'll move on to you. Is that okay?
Okay.
Thank you. And so just want to announce again, the next meeting is on Wednesday, January 10th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the same location, Kaevai Cafeteria. Yeah. Okay. Broadcast meetings, neighborhood board meetings aired on Olelo Channel 49 on the 4th Saturday of the month at 6 p.m. and the 1st and 3rd Sunday of the month at 9 a.m. Yeah, and I believe we can move on to you, Mr. Dana Yap.
Yeah, first off, I'd like to say thank you for coming to the Halloween costume contest and being a judge. And hopefully you had fun. And there was we're still working on building the amount of people coming. So there's like 60 participants and 150 people came to the event. And the next city event would be Easter. So that's still in the works. But the other thing I wanted to remind you guys of is the 24th. You guys going to be in the parade, right? So
yes,
Christmas parade. So there's a meeting on Monday at 5:30 for a representative from your group to come to a meeting at Kalihi Union Church at 5:30 to go over the staging and stuff like that. So we're looking forward to having you guys there. And hopefully you guys got your signs and your t-shirts.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask, is it okay? So I'm gonna be there representing, but is it okay if I invite anyone that is free to join, come to the meeting? I can bring +1s or +20s. I'm just kidding. Not 20.
Well,
I don't have that
you're
many.
gonna march,
friends.
right? So whoever going to march, you can bring. So
Yeah.
you can bring somebody else too. Yeah.
Okay.
So look forward to seeing you guys there. Okay.
Thank you. Oh, I also wanted to mention, I think when I was at the contest, there's also an Ohana costume contest portion. Just wanted to announce as well. The Ohana is like with the family, right? They would do costume together. So just wanted to announce as well. That's an option probably for next year. But I want to move on to Chester Koga.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dana Yap. And Chester?
Hey, thank you. I just wanted to what I want to say. I wanted to make a note that on our agenda, it's announced our next meeting to be November 8th, which is actually tonight. So there's an error in the agenda. So people online or paying attention to what we're doing, make a note. The next meeting is actually in January, not November.
Yes, thank you, Board Member Chester. Yeah, I was trying to mention in the beginning as well as towards the end about the change because that was an error that was there that we didn't realize after posting. But thank you for echoing that as well. But is there any other announcements online or in person? Seeing and hearing none, I do want to wish everyone, everyone who does or doesn't celebrate either Thanksgiving or Christmas, happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to everyone, or just enjoy the season of giving. But yeah, see you guys in January, and I believe this meeting is now adjourned. Yay!